Hello and welcome to Hello China at 103.2 Dublin City FM. The program is co-hosted by UCD Confucius Institute of Ireland. Hi, this is Lou here in studio today with you again. How are you? Well, myself last week was really busy because I just started my intern with this new firm. And there's a lot of things to learn and to get along with the people. Well, usually when I was this kind of really tired and stressed, I would love to spend a quiet evening just enjoy the music that I love. That will take all my pressure away. So, if you are the same person as me, again, welcome listening to Hello China music video. And from this week, I'll start to introduce a list of famous singers from mainland China. They're supposed to be the pop kings and pop queens in Chinese pop world. You probably never heard their name, but I believe that you'll fall in love with their voice like I do. This week, the first singer I want to recommend to you is called Na Ying. She is considered as one of the best present-day female singers in mainland China. She started her career in mid-1980, performed more than 140 pieces of popular Chinese pop songs, and so far she already has 13 albums and has sold more than 10 million copies. Really amazing. She is actually the first singer from mainland China to give solo concert in Taiwan, and after that she has her concert in Hong Kong, Thailand, Macau, Tokyo, and so many cities around the world. The first song played here is called 山不转水转. It is really old song, like 20 years ago, I suppose. 山不转水转 literally means there's many beautiful sceneries on the way. So when the mountain pass, you still got the chance to see the water. But actually in Chinese, it has a more deeper meaning, which means there's a lot of things happen in your life. You never know what's going to happen next. So never be extremely sad after a tragedy. And the same, never carried away after a success. After this song, Na Ying became nationwide popular. And it is believed that from this song, Na Ying built up her own style. The next song we're going to listen was produced 10 years ago, but still popular now. The song was called 一笑而过, which means laugh it off. You may tell from the name that it's a love song that reflects two people broke up and the girl decided to get over it and move on. Well, nothing more I want to say about this song, so just enjoy.
坐在安静角落，该为这一刻找个解脱。不要你眼里伪装的内疚， 该是自己幸福的时候，静静地想一想，谁会追求刻意的温柔？你伤害了我，还一笑而过，你爱的贪婪，我爱的懦弱，眼泪流过，回忆是多余的，只怪自己爱你所有的错。你伤害了我，还一笑而过，你爱的贪婪，我爱的懦弱，眼泪流过，回忆是多余的，刻骨铭心，就这样的被你一笑而过。
Na Ying has performed more than 140 pieces of Chinese pop songs, as I said before. She said among all of them, this song playing now, called 征服, which means mastery, is her favorite. This song is the top click song on karaoke list.
终于你找到一个方式分出了胜负，输赢的代价是彼此粉身碎骨，爱的健康的你心里伤痕无数，顽强的我是这场战役的俘虏，就这样被你征服，切断了所有退路，我的心情是坚固，我的决定是糊涂，就这样被你征服，喝下你藏好的毒，我的剧情已落幕，我的爱恨已有毒。是一个结束，所有的边界都让对方以为是欺负，放一把火烧掉你送我的礼物，却浇不熄我胸口灼热的愤怒，就这样被你征服，切断了所有退路，我的心情是坚固，我的决定是糊涂，就这样被你征服，喝下你藏好的毒，我的剧情已落幕。
Well, okay, hope you enjoy the show and see you next week. This is Lu from Hello China.
你如果经过我的愤怒，你可以双手合十为我祝福，就这样被你征服，切断了所有退路，我的心情是坚固，我的决定是糊涂，就这样被你征服，喝下你藏好的毒，我的剧情已落幕，我的爱恨已入土，就这样被你征服，切断了所有退路，我的心情是坚固，我的决定是糊涂，就这样被你 征服，就这样被你征服，好像你藏好的路，我的激情已落幕，我的爱恨已无助，就这样被你征服，就这样被你切断了所有退路，我的心情是坚固，我的决定是不。
This is Hello China. You are listening to the news section. I'm Rial. Within 1 week, elevators manufactured by Otis have caused 2 accidents in China, prompting the country to halt the use of all Otis escalators of the same model. Otis is a wholly owned subsidiary of United Technologies Corporation in the States and is the biggest manufacturer of escalators and elevators in the world. The first accident took place in Beijing at 9:37 local time last Tuesday. After the rush hours, an Otis 513 MPE escalator installed in the Beijing Zoo station of Subway Line 4 suddenly moved backward. Around 13 passengers on the escalator at the time slid and fell down, causing injuries. A 13-year-old boy was killed on spot. Subway Line 4 was put into operation in 2009 and managed by Hong Kong's MTR Corporation. The government investigation blamed the manufacturer for the tragedy. According to a Beijing official responsible for the investigation, the accident was caused by flaws in design and manufacture of the Otis 513 MPE escalator, and the producer's maintenance was not proper. He said the record shows the malfunctioned escalator has just completed a routine check 2 weeks before the accident. One of the immediate effects of this accident is that all users of Otis 513 MPE escalators in China were asked to suspend the operation and have the producer to check them before they can be reused. 2 days later, another Otis elevator failed to operate at a station of Nanjing metro system. Passengers were stuck inside anxiously during the evening before they were released by metro staff. All Otis elevators were later banned from use in the city. The key issue of this incident is that the escalator's protection mechanisms are designed and are supposed to prevent such thing like sudden backward movement from happening when the accelerators are operating. So that is why the government is so furious this time in holding Otis accountable for this accident. And also it was because a similar case was reported just last December in Shenzhen when an Otis escalator of the same model moved backward and injured 25 people. Obviously, this is a very serious thing in the capital of China when a 13-year-old boy, quite innocent, was killed by the accelerator. And one of the further issues revolved in this, I think, is that a lot of the companies, when operating in China, they don't pay enough attention to these security issues. Maybe one of the reasons is that there's no provision under Chinese criminal law to hold directors or any person directly involved to accountable and to a great extent for this sort of issues. So that kind of created incentive to be driven towards revenue profits and neglect some of the security issues. Maybe that's the case. There are a growing number of reports on the bubble in the Chinese economy these days. While property bubbles are hard to confirm before they go bust, inflation in China seems to be getting hard to control. During the week, China's central bank raised the interest rate for the 3rd time this year. The interest hike came after a similar action by the ECB for the Eurozone and just before the release of the monthly inflation figure in China. The benchmark 1-year interbank rate was increased by 25 basis points. Inflation figure for June was released on July the 9th in China, and it confirmed previous market predictions by hitting a height of 6.4%. Food prices have been increasing consecutively for months, and some items even more dramatically. According to the Statistics Bureau of China, food prices rose by 14.4%, and wholesale prices for pork was up almost 60% from a year earlier. The central bank is trying all its means to curb inflation in China. It has also raised reserve requirement ratio for 6 times since this year. The central bank also issued a statement on its website saying that it will continue to implement prudent monetary policy as inflationary pressure still remains quite high in the country. And some of the economists in the investment banking industry in China are already arguing whether there will be another similar interest rate increase this year or not. And there are counter-arguments from the top security companies in China. CITIC, which is a big security firm, one of their chief economists said that there will not likely be another interest rate increase this year. Well, an analyst for Guotai Junan, the biggest company in terms of investment banking in China, forecast that there will be another interest rate hike in the third quarter. Well, despite these counter-arguments, one thing is obvious. If inflation figure goes high in China, which is quite likely next month, because the similar figure last July was quite low, then it's obvious that the central bank will do another using another monetary means to curb inflation, either increase the interest rate or increase the reserve requirement ratio again, which is already quite high in China, and it is not that likely to go through further increase. On the international side, China is among the first countries to recognize the independence of South Sudan and establish a diplomatic tie with it. A Chinese cabinet minister attended the independence ceremony in Juba, and he was a special envoy for China's President Hu Jintao. And the process of independence for South Sudan marked a quite different, interesting news story for the diplomacy of China. Because in the past, China regarded its non-interference policy as a sort of a sacred principle. That is, China is not interfering into these issues in other countries. But that has brought a lot of criticism to China in 2008, when a lot of Hollywood movie stars in particular, they campaigned for a boycott of Beijing Olympics because China is not doing anything for the human rights issue in Sudan, and they thought China should interfere. So gradually, under international pressure, China has changed its method, and it sent a special envoy to Sudan and established a consulate general in its capital Juba, which will later be transformed into a new embassy. And it also met the opposition leader of South Sudan, Salva Kiir Mayardit, who visited Beijing a couple of weeks before its independence. So it's quite a dramatic transformation for Chinese diplomacy. And China's recognition of the independence of South Sudan also contrasts with its decision on Kosovo, which its independence haven't been